Okay, squeaky door, welcome to the new studio. We are 95% done. As an example, we have one door in the beginning. We are missing one because it has to get recolored. I thought it was time for a good old empty studio tour. There's a couple pieces inside, but I'm super excited to share this one. Okay, so this is the studio space. Link, if you want to come give everyone a tour, we can do that, right, Papa?
Huh?
Yeah, are we gonna give a tour? So it's funny, this studio space is the largest room in the house. To give you a bit of like context, we've been building a house for the past 4 years, full tour coming soon. But with this place pretty much taking its final form, we're actually starting to like film content. We filmed like a little desk setup before. We're starting to fill the space up. I thought it would be a perfect time to show you what it looks like completely empty. So this space is around 850-ish square feet. It's, funnily enough, the largest room in the house. It's the moneymaker. It's what's helped paid for, I guess, this entire build. And it's sitting on top of the garage. It's on floor like 1.5. And when I look back at the original like renderings and drawings that I was making, it pretty much has come to fruition in its entirety. So as an example, I'm gonna show you guys one of the key features. It's the big ass windows that are just right here. So as a reference, these are floor to ceiling windows, 13 feet from, of course, the floor all the way up top. They do face the street. So technically anyone walking around my street can see me work. Thankfully, we've got no one watching right now. We are battling with a couple things because it allows a lot of natural light. You can see that the sun during the heat of the summer, Link loves to chill out in the sun. He's like a sunbather. That brings its own issues. It's nice to film in, but obviously sun changes, the color temperature changes. So we are currently waiting on some blinds that have to come in. There's gonna be 2 different sets. So one to, of course, give us complete blackout to obviously manage the light, and one just regular sunshade. So you can actually see up top the wiring. So we are all currently wired in for those blinds to be installed, and that will tie into our smart home system, which is powered by Savant, which is its own separate video. So that is pretty much the entirety of this complete wall. And kind of moving on to where I guess like the real filming will happen. This is one of the key nooks in the studio. So you can already kind of see a little desk setup. I've got obviously a orange chair. This one is a Razor Lamborghini one. I made a completely separate video, but in that video, I did have this little standing desk. I feel like it is too small. So you can see that there's a significant like gap between this side to that side. I think I might have to do something like custom. So if anyone knows like the classic IKEA desk hack, it's actually like a kitchen countertop. I was measuring, it's like around 97 inches. That's almost this like complete space. So maybe building something custom there. And of course we have a fluted wood wall. So this is from Wood Veneer Hub. They were kind enough to hook up some panels. And what's really nice about these, they do have 2 purposes. Obviously the contrast of the wood, but in between is felt, which makes it great for sound absorption. That's actually like the main purpose. They are like sound panels, and they kind of fit the entire scheme. If you've seen like any of my videos over a decade, I'm a big fan of natural color. So of course, white with very light wood. That's like, I don't want to say like inspired by Apple, but if you look at, you know, the windows, if you look at the wood and at the walls, I feel like you're kind of stepping into a mini Apple store, and that's where a lot of the inspiration came from. So to the floors, I got to give a huge shout out. This is from a company called Unique Parquet, and they've done the flooring throughout our entire house. Everywhere else, we just have the custom like long width, long planks. In the studio, I wanted something unique, so we went with the herringbone pattern. That's this little like grid-like formation, all in white oak. And when this finally got completed, I was almost jealous that I didn't do the entire house, because I think this came out super great. Some of our initial shots, everything looked really, really cool. I think it's such a unique pattern and gives such a richness and really cool texture to everything. But I'll let you guys be the judge. Should this have been like the long planks? Are you guys a fan of the herringbone? Should I have had another different pattern? But yeah, really, really happy with the floors. I think hardwood floors give homes such a nice warmth to it, rather than say concrete, which we have in the basement and is another big element. So it's that nice like balance between the concrete, the wood, obviously all the windows, and that ties into the back area here. So you're actually in a really great position because you can actually look up slightly. That leads us to the next point. So all throughout the ceiling, we have all these custom lights fitted. And one thing about the studio spaces that I've worked worked in before. There's just C-stands, light stands everywhere. The beauty about building a new place, you can kind of think about that, and all of that is pre-wired in. So all these lights here are from Small Rig, technically 2 different types. So the far one, which is our key light, that's the RC450D. It's got an RA D120 dome or softbox on it. It's nice because it points directly in that main filming area in the corner. And then to give some extra light to the entire space, we have 2 lanterns. Those are attached to 2 RC220Ds. And obviously these lights are, all of them, you can control the color temperature. And the really nice thing when we were planning, keeping obviously all the cables off of the floor, all that wiring is running through the ceiling, and they're all controlled through our smart home. I can actually show you, it's like literally switched on the other side. Just grabbing this, I can actually flip this around, and this is our smart control system. And you can see here, even battling through some of the reflections, all the different lights that can be set. So that's kind of cool. Obviously that is smart home integrated, and our Ecobee, which is our smart thermostat. So I think that's one of the coolest features about the studio space. Obviously managing all the lighting, all the wiring, because I think you all know how much I struggle with cable management. So that's nice to have that technically all out of the way right now. Okay, so underneath our good old light switches, it's kind of funny. So I'm testing out 2 robot vacuums right now because I'm trying to have one live on like every floor of the house. So right here, I've got 2 models from Roborock. This one here is the QV35A. It's a bit more entry level or budget friendly, whereas this one is the more premium one. This is the QRevo S5V. They look very, very similar, to be honest. Obviously, there's some premium features about this, like aesthetically. So this one you can see has a gold ring, but the key difference is actually what's on the bottom. So you can see this is, well used, well tested. This one has a duo divide brush with short bristles. They're also both rubber. What's so special about that, it just makes it easier for hair tangling. Link sheds a little bit, but mostly cat. My wife, I've got a cat and dog in the house. Her hair gets like freaking everywhere. That honestly helps so much with keeping that tangle free. So I think for that reason alone, that's a game changer. You can see that it has 2 mops. Obviously this is a mop and vacuum. They have a clean and dirty water reservoir for water. It has a 2.7 liter dust bag. So that's up to 7 weeks of dust kind of going in there before you have to swap it out. That's actually the same on both of the models. Another big key difference here is the suction power. So on the more expensive one, that has 12,000 pascals of suction versus the 8,000 on that. Both have really great mapping systems. They both have LiDAR. So in the studio here, I kind of have everything like mapped out so it can clean, but it has really good obstacle avoidance. It's got 6 times faster mapping than opposed to actually like cleaning and mapping together. It has a very easy no-go zone. So for example, when we were doing this, it was trying to get into obviously this little like landing area where we've stuck everything else outside. So we set this boundary as a no-go zone. It will stick solely to the studio. It's got reactive tech, which just helps with obstacle avoidance. So for example, we have a big ladder in the space that was kind of managing and going through the ladder without any issues. And one really cool feature, which I think ties into like our build. So if you actually look down here, we have no baseboards built into our house. It's actually a quite modern feature. It's just this little shadow trim. So technically for cleaning, you need to go right to the edge. It has flexi arm tech, so the mop can actually lift out and go right to the edges. It also has that little brush to help scoop out any sorts of debris that live under this small little crevice. So really useful for any of you modern home builders. And when you compare this to say like Eufy models, which are on the market, for example, the X10 Pro Omni, which I've used before. So the higher end model has better features for around the same price, and the cheaper or like budget model that has almost the same features for a cheaper of a price. So if I were to pick one, I would definitely pick one of the Roborock ones. Honestly, for my studio, I think the QV35A could be fine, and then maybe I'll stick the more expensive and premium one downstairs where it does like heavier lifting when we're cooking, all that stuff in like the kitchen. So that is that space. Obviously, we're going on to this big blank wall here. I did a little projector review for the first time on this massive wall. It is a huge open space. I think I'm gonna have maybe like a cool little table here with some of the natural light, like I'm standing in it right now. I know I'll be overexposed, but this is from 3 skylights that we have above. So maybe this will be like my unboxing wall if I have this really cool open wide table here, unboxing it against a big white wall. I think that could look pretty dope. And maybe last but not least, I almost forgot this, as we go to the final look, I guess I'll show you what's in this door here. So this is an HVAC system. So obviously an entire cooling system or HVAC system dedicated to the studio and technically garage that needs to live there. Needs a bit of GW40 to be honest. That's that last 5%. And This ladder obviously doesn't belong here, but in this little nook, this is where that like orange wall that I have floating around in my studio will live. So that's the last pieces of millwork left for our place. So I'll just have a little media console that goes over there and floating shelves that go kind of across to display all my cool orange memorabilia, all my cool orange tech that I've been collecting over the years. But that is pretty much the entire empty studio tour. It is almost there. Like we are like so close to moving into this house, but since this is pretty much complete, want to share it. Curious to hear what you guys think. Where should extra furniture be? Should I do that custom Karl IKEA hack like desk here? Open to your guys' thoughts. Hope you enjoyed a bit of a tour of this space, the floor, the cool lights. I'm working on my cable management, guys. I'm really trying hard. And yeah, just happy to hear your guys' suggestions. We'll catch you in one of my next vids. Peace.